All right, so the goals of developing this course essentially were to kind of play into the movement that's occurring on Dawson campus right now. So we've had a lot of initiatives in terms of campus sustainability in the past, more recently, um, especially with the appointment of a sustainable coordinator or sustainable director on campus. And so biology department was offered to teach a new course, and we were kind of debating on what to teach and which direction to go. And instead of opting for kind of just a flavored course in biology with just some random material, we decided to feed into the community a little bit more by developing a course on sustainability. So there were because there's been so many initiatives, there was a lot of material to draw upon, and so this course was really aimed at teaching sustainability from the or using the school itself as a teaching tool. So this course had a lecture component, which was kind of just traditional lectures, teacher giving lectures, and then there was also a lab component that was reserved for the course. Now, because the biology department has limited lab space, we were actually encouraged to do our labs outside of the actual laboratory room. And so we used this opportunity to explore different spots around the college and use the college examples as a tool for teaching sustainability. So because of that, we developed labs on composting, we developed labs on honey extraction because we have hives on campus. We did a tour of the facilities looking at the different initiatives that are in place. Touring the Peace Garden, for example, was an entire lab and looking at the biodiversity that's in downtown Montreal on our campus and exploring that. And so it was really novel in the way that you approach a subject material by getting students not only engaged in the topic of the course, sustainability, but getting engaged in the Dawson community as well, right? And so because it was the first time that the course ran, I would jokingly say to the students taking the course that they were our test subjects. They were being put under a scientific microscope, and we were testing to see how this would work. But even though that was the case in some ways, one of the main goals of this course was not just to test to see how this course worked, but to actually train students, upcoming researchers, leaders, as ambassadors for change, and to get these students armed with the biological knowledge behind what comes with campus sustainability and sustainable practices in everyday life, and get them engaged in real life examples, as well as personal examples, community and personal. So teaching this course for the first time was a little bit of an experiment for me as well as a teacher, because a large portion of the course, mainly the lab component of the course, was not something that not a style that I'm used to teaching. So the lecture was pretty straightforward. We prepare a PowerPoint, we give a lecture to students, they listen, they take notes, ask questions, stimulate discussion, that kind of thing. But the lab was really non-conventional, right? So when you think of a biology lab, you think of going to lab, taking on a microscope, taking an organism, manipulating it, getting data, something like that. None of these labs were like that. These labs were really hands-on, and in the form of a workshop or an activity where they had to explore. And so when I teach biology labs, I try and use the lab time as a way to promote kind of hands-on learning or active learning by getting students engaged, right? So that's really, the lab is the time to do that. So this course kind of took that to another level by bringing the students outside of the lab almost every week and on campus somewhere where they were able to listen to a short lecture on the topic at hand and then participate. So get their hands dirty by pulling out some plants in the garden and prepping it for the winter, or spinning a honeycomb and extracting honey and watching it pour out of the bottom of the barrel, right? getting a tour of the facilities and looking at the different methods on campus that we have to make the campus more sustainable and more energy efficient, right? And so these are the labs that were really kind of interesting and fun for the students. It engages the students and it gets them involved, and really stimulates discussion and stimulates student engagement.